Disengagement is an issue, and that's because not everyone belongs in the classroom. I'm going to be looking at how I can balance my English classroom so that gifted, middle and lower achieving students are engaged but also learning from the syllabus. We're going to be investigating the syllabus, seeing how we can get our students in the zone of proximal development and the current educational policies and their pitfalls. The Grattan Institute found the three main reasons for students disengaging was poor quality teaching, problems at home and the most substantial, the task being too hard or too easy. Looking at that from Piaget's zone of proximal development, putting an A student in their zone of proximal development will be a completely different activity to a D student. Add on the syllabus's 10-week constraint and summative assessment, it becomes an impossible task. On the screen is the opening paragraph from the Senior English syllabus. Now, the language they use boasts nothing of what's inside. The prescribed text list offers us books from 1953 or before. This causes students to disconnect majorly because it's so disconnected from their current time. Just because a text has merit in genre and style does not mean it's going to be teachable. As Ken Robinson says, it's more important than ever to keep work relevant and engaging in this era of technology. When I go on prac, teachers tell me, forget everything you learn at uni, it's useless. You're telling me I wasted $3,000 on a semester? And that makes my student engagement go down. Something very skeptical I found about differentiation and engagement was on the ASCD website. They said to differentiate, make assessment subjective. Basically, if you have a public speaking task and someone's nervous, they can do a painting or a voice recording instead. This doesn't work. Peter O'Brien described it best as social reality meeting policies. The policymakers do not consider social reality or the variance in life. If there is a public speaking task in the QCAA, it means that students need to meet this because there is objectives and criterias. Just because you're nervous or maybe you're not very good, it doesn't mean you can get out of it. We need to remove the feelings factory from schools and get back to the attitude of, you didn't succeed this time, maybe it's not your thing. This is not to say differentiation doesn't work. Professor Daniel Stein said the best way to differentiate was to get to know your students so you understood them and could therefore accommodate them. Make sure your classroom environment is positive because students can't learn when they feel anxious. Maybe you could ask for their input on how to set the room out. Make sure you're not watering down the content and that students are always working towards a higher goal. And lastly, make sure you don't forget your gifted students. They need to be challenged, which means you may need to make extra worksheets and have extra activities that challenge them on hand. Now, if you do these things, you should be able to accommodate above average achieving students, the syllabus is here to help and lower achieving. And even though sometimes it does affect engagement through how relevant our lessons can be, it doesn't stop engagement through pedagogy. Differentiation can be used to mix up the activities, and students and teachers can put more onus back on their students to increase engagement. What we need is less new age techniques and more teachers who are passionate and care about their students. In the future, I'd love to find out how I can create an inclusive, engaging classroom without sacrificing my mental health, how I can get more student-selected texts on the syllabus, and how I can make assessment subjective while still keeping it in line with those QCAA syllabus requirements. Thanks for listening.